Hello and welcome to today's talk on the brainstem and the cranial nerves. What we'll be doing first is having a quick introduction to the brainstem. So we'll have a quick look at the basic structure, position and function of the brainstem before we move on to more detailed anatomy. So starting off with the structure, the main parts of the brainstem from above downwards are the midbrain, the pons and the medulla. In terms of its internal structure, you look at its internal structure relative to the ventricular system. So the part of the brainstem which lies behind the ventricular system is known as the tectum. The part of the brainstem which lies immediately in front of the ventricular system is known as the tegmentum of the brainstem. And finally there is a ventral part which is derived from cortical fibers which actually pass down into the brainstem. And that sums up the basic structure that you need to have a knowledge of before we move on to more detailed concepts. The brainstem itself lies beneath the thalamus and in front of the cerebellum within the cranial cavity. In terms of its relation to bone, it should be noted that it lies above the level of the foramen magnum, and it lies in front of the basi-occiput, and also, it lies behind the basi-occiput, and also behind the body of the sphenoid as well. In terms of its function, the brainstem is basically a pathway for descending and ascending fibers to pass through from the spinal cord to the brain, and it also is a relay center for nerves and vessels which supply the head and neck. And that's basically the basic set out of the brainstem. The next thing that we're going to cover is the components of the brainstem. So brainstem can be thought of as consisting of basically nuclei and tracts. In terms of the nuclei, there's several types of nuclei that we see in the brainstem. We see cranial nerve nuclei. We see also other named nuclei, which include at the level of the midbrain, the superior colliculus, the inferior colliculus, and the red nucleus. All of these are just names. We'll learn about what they signify in a second. In addition, we've got at the pontine level, we've got pontine nuclei, and at the medullary level, we have the olivary nuclei and the gracile and cuneate nuclei, and we'll learn all about these in a moment. The final thing that's part of the nuclei of the brainstem is the nuclei of the reticular formation. In terms of the tracts, it's quite easy to consider the tracts as being ascending or descending.